Fromania Bricks, and good morning. It is almost 5:45 a.m. here at Fromania Manor, and we are up early because we are headed towards the LEGO store. Now, you're probably wondering, no big releases right now. Nothing major coming out. Why are we in the car at 5:45 in the morning to head to the LEGO store? Well, that's because we've got a bit of a drive to get to the LEGO store. That's right, it's a 13.5-hour drive to the LEGO store, Caleb. Because we're not going to LEGO Store of Cool Springs. We are going to New York City, and we get to actually check out 2 LEGO stores. We're going to see LEGO Store Rockefeller Center and Flatiron. So, up early. We're probably not even going to hit the LEGO store today. In fact, I know we're not going to hit the LEGO store today because I'm old and I can't do a 13.5-hour drive in one sitting. So we've got a bit of a drive ahead of us to get to 2 of the greatest LEGO stores in America. So come along with us. Thankfully, you don't have to sit in this car for 13 hours. We're going to endure the pain for you to have the joy of checking out these 2 amazing LEGO stores. Let's go.
We're in New York. We can go home. Look,
we made it. Oh my word.
It
didn't take near as long as I thought it would take.
That's crazy.
I mean, we're only... Look at this. We're early.
Time.
Record time.
It's a little smaller than I expected, though. I didn't know there'd be a Japanese restaurant so close.
All right, so as it turns out, that actually wasn't the real Statue of Liberty, and I don't know how we're going to get the $100 back on that experience. But today we're going to finish the drive into Manhattan and let you guys see the LEGO store. That's what this whole trip is about. We drove all this way just for Legos. Yeah. So let's just make you bypass what we have to go through, and we'll see you when we get there.
Oh,
just like that. We skipped the drive and we're in
New York.
We're in Manhattan, and we are right around the corner from LEGO Store 5th Avenue by Rockefeller Center. And you guys are getting ready to check out one of the coolest LEGO stores in America. I'd like to say in the world, but there could be a cooler one in the world. We made it from Nashville, Tennessee to LEGO Store 5th Avenue. My goodness, there is a bit of a line to queue up to get in, but I'm so excited to show this store. This is amazing, and it's all Christmas decorated now. So cool.
I can't believe it. It's
so cool.
Oh, God, it's popping out.
How many are you guys? 4?
While we had seen videos and photos of the 5th Avenue LEGO store by Rockefeller Center online before, we really weren't quite prepared for what we were going to see when we walked through the doors. It is a store that is just hard to put into words. 2 stories of LEGO goodness. And at the center of the store is this giant tree that turns into a rainbow spawning across the ceiling of LEGO Store 5th Avenue. All throughout this build, there are tons of details. You've got this brick-built squirrel holding a nut above this viewfinder with a LEGO bee inside of it. Circling around the side, you can see some more viewports that have different LEGO builds. And this was true of every side of this LEGO tree. Up top, though, where the branches begin to span out, you can see there's a friend hiding out up top, and it is LEGO Cataclaus, a LEGO brick-built cat with his Santa hat overlooking the LEGO store. Down at the bottom, you can see some more builds, and there's even a viewfinder in here. It's kind of hard to see what you're looking at, but it's neat to be able to look into the side of the tree. Another port. Circling around the other side, there's some scientists with a microscope and a unicorn. So many details inside of this tree. And then on the floor, look at this build on the floor that circles the tree. These studs that are piled up to create a root system in the dirt. And there's even like some popsicles and other little things that are hidden inside of this floor build. There were literally details everywhere in the store. There were different signs. There was a forget about it sign. Or as Caleb would say, fahugadub it. These 2 signs really had me. No signs below this point. No instructions above this point. No signs. No instructions. A fall build, fall for LEGO. I can only imagine that sign changes with each season. And over by the elevator is this really neat subway guy. It's a brick-built subway conductor, a wanted sign behind him. It gives a layout of the New York City subway system. And even on the side over here, you can see there's a brick-built layout, the New York City map, that shows you where all of the different icons of New York City are represented in brick form. So entire map of New York City on display on the side of the subway station. And a tip of the hat to Broadway. One of the showcases, though, was this brick-built Statue of Liberty. Her face would actually move and smile and interact, and all around it is that iconic Statue of Liberty set. Over on the other side of the store, a massive brick-built taxi cab that families can climb in and take photos of with Captain America on top, and Santa Claus overlooking from the back wall. Along the other side of the store, there's a lot of brick-built architecture sets that are showcasing some of the different iconic buildings in New York City in brick form, and they were absolutely massive. A big Iron Man build overlooking. Then you get another building with a crane on top of it, and that might be window washers, making sure this build is nice and tidy. You can see the architecture builds. In the centerpiece, Lady Liberty herself, a massive brick-built, more realistic style Statue of Liberty, a little different from the minifigure style. See Flatiron Building, Avengers Tower, and the Empire State Building. So there are a lot of architectural builds displayed in this LEGO store. You can see some of the iconic New York City sets as well. Of course, the yellow taxi cab has to be available. The New York City postcard, it said that that was an exclusive to the store. I'm not so sure about that because I picked that up online. Maybe it was a store and online exclusive. But as you continue to look, you can see the Brooklyn Bridge and then some more LEGO architecture buildings. I like the little brick-built cars to simulate the city traffic, and One World Trade Center just towering above all of the rest of the LEGO builds. The clouds were super cool too, how they built these LEGO clouds out and created the curvature within them. Another one of the neat things you can do is with the Mosaic Maker set, you can get some exclusive New York City patterns like this yellow taxi cab and like Lady Liberty to have a bit of a unique memento from your trip to New York City. The walls have different Broadway posters showcasing some of the different shows that you can see on Broadway. And here's another look at that New York City map right next to the downstairs checkout. That's right, I said downstairs checkout because this store is actually 2 stories tall. The crosswalk sign has a really neat stop. It is the LEGO claw hand instead of a stop hand. And right above the elevator, you have Wonder Woman hanging out to protect anyone coming in. Here's one more look at the Times Square subway station with the subway conductor and some of the fun signage that's actually on it. Just peeking around at the greatest criminal mind of our time. Then down below, here's another look at that LEGO subway map that is on display on the subway booth next to the elevator going to the 2nd story of this LEGO store. So much to see, so much to do. Here's another Broadway musical poster that they had. This is Finally the Move, about the TV show based on the video game, inspired by the book. Here's some more LEGO Santa Claus artwork on one of the side walls by register checkout with some of those New York City exclusives again, and another look at that full architecture wall. They had several displays with the New York sets, the taxi cabs, the postcards, Lady Liberty. They wanted to be sure you could really bring home a memento from that iconic New York City store. Here's a look at the overall of the downstairs. You can see you were just surrounded by LEGO, not only sets for sale, but MOCs designed by master builders to set the ambience of the store. On the stairs going up, you have this Times Square feel with all of the different signage hanging on the wall. You can see the Joker's Wanted poster, you can see Lion King on Broadway, City Pizza, but it really gives you that Times Square digital sign feel with all of the signs illuminated. And down at the bottom on the elevator shaft, you can see Central Perk inside of one of the windows. The elevator shaft itself had a lot of neat brick builds. This is a fireman rescuing a cat from the top of a building that's on fire with these different scenes in the windows, and Batman is swooping in to save the day, to steal the glory of Lego City firemen. Here's the police lady trying to capture the burglar that's climbing up the building. The brick-built money hanging out of his bag was a super fun detail. So you can see walking up the stairs, who would want to take the elevator when you've got a view like that? Upstairs, Ghostbusters on the other side of the elevator shaft. You have the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man over top of Slimer, looking over top of the Ghostbusters Fire Hall, which also is in New York City. We were able to go by and take a look at the iconic Ghostbusters Firehouse that's in New York City. Another brick-built building here on the staircase. The Blues Brothers are represented. You've got one of the Blues Brothers playing a saxophone, another brick-built display on the second floor. And of course there's the Minifigure Factory. The Minifigure Factory is a fun way to build a minifigure with some exclusive decorations that were only available in New York City. You have the LEGO Store 5th Avenue stickers. You have the Big Apple sticker. There's a New York City taxi cab, but a lot of fun stickers that won't be available on any other minifigure factory around the country. So you can build that custom minifigure to take home that you know you could only get in this store. I went with the LEGO Store 5th Avenue. Micah and Caleb did the same and added some different stickers on it as well. Once your minifigure starts printing, you're able to head over and watch the machine do its work. I would love to have one of these printers, but I'm afraid we would probably have to sell most of our LEGO collection if we wanted to bring a printer like this home. And we'd have to build a bigger house. Inside of the regular Build a Minifig, they have these neat New York torsos, so you can build your own New York City torso if you don't want to do the minifig maker. And where the magic is really at is in the window displays outside. There's several windows around this building that all feature and showcase different brick-built designs by master builders. Both sides of the store have them, as well as the front of the store. That brick-built Cataclaws was it for me. That was one of the coolest builds in all of the windows. On the side of the building, you had the reindeer band. We came back a couple of days later, and there was a Cataclaws sticker actually on that drum, but we didn't get to get that captured in this video. But that's okay. Cataclaws is hanging out, listening to the reindeer band play. They even had a Friends window display. Friends with the candy cane design. They are putting on a little concert for Rockefeller Center on the side of the building. And on the other side of the building was a massive, massive MOC that had so many fun little Easter eggs tucked away inside of it. The more that you look at this build, the more funny things that you see built into this city view. This is a build of Rockefeller Center, and there are so many different things going on. Of course, you have the taxis lined up. Of course, down in the bottom, you see Jabba the Hutt is trying to do some ice skating. That's a little unexpected. And you have this wild army of girls in red shopping at LEGO Store. Again, the more you look at it, the more details you find throughout this entire MOC. We spent a lot of time just looking for the fun little hidden Easter eggs and nuggets, the love sign from the iconic LEGO set, even some of the Animal Crossing figures showed up. Hulk is tossing a taxi cab across the top of the building. You have this girl in her Minnie Mouse dress and Santa Claus hiding up top. And this wrecked Viking ship, I don't know what's going on here, but they are robbing and have all kinds of stuff tucked away in their treasure chest. So many things. Next to it, you've got the Brooklyn Bridge with Sky Waterway doing a whale watch and a neat tugboat below it. This build is massive. I know this video isn't really doing it justice, but it is a significantly large bridge build that's taking up the entire second window across the side of LEGO Store 5th Avenue. In the final window, you have the Yetis and Bigfoot playing music for Cataclaws, who's hiding out in the back. These big plastic builds were super fun, super endearing. I know they're not brick built, but they're like oversized minifigures. And the detail in them was simply perfect. I loved all of the window displays. Just like that, man, that store is unbelievable. By far one of the coolest LEGO stores I've ever been in. We'll when we get back to the hotel, we'll talk about it a little bit more. It's a little chaotic, and we don't want to upset the locals, Caleb. Forget about it. Whew, survived our first day in Manhattan. Got to check out LEGO Store 5th Avenue, but there's one more store to go. We're not done with the LEGO stores on this trip yet. We're still going to go check out LEGO Store Flatiron by the Flatiron Building, which is also the Daily Bugle. Bugle. Daily Bugle. So hang out with us a little bit longer, and we're going to take a look at LEGO Store Flatiron as we wrap up this trip to Manhattan. All right, we already checked out one LEGO store in New York City. Now we're about to check out LEGO Store Flatiron, which means Flatiron is right behind us. Look at that. It is covered in scaffolding, which is kind of a bummer, but you still can see Flatiron, Caleb. But more importantly, look at this. LEGO Store Flatiron up next. There it is. More window displays. Oh, this one's pretty big, bud.
Whoa, massive.
Cataclaws. There it is. LEGO Store Flatiron, bud. So cool. When we finally made it to LEGO Store Flatiron, it was a totally different experience. It felt much more like a traditional LEGO store, yet it was still filled with amazing models by master builders. The centerpiece of this one is Lady Liberty's arm holding up her torch. It is a tribute story to the Statue of Liberty. They have an informational board that talks a little bit about Lady Liberty when her arm was in Madison Park and they were trying to raise money for the rest of the statue. And this build is a tribute to that. It's a showcase of that moment in time and history with some really neat brick-built minifigures hanging out all around it. And it truly is the centerpiece showcase of this Flatiron store. Then you have a brick-built minifigure with dynamite. I'm not really sure what he is up to in the store, but I think that you're going to have to keep an eye on him. I don't know what his story is. Another informational board. Then above it, you have the tail of Brickley, the Lego dragon, and Brickley actually weaves throughout the store. I guess he's partly above the ceiling, and he's popping in and out at different times, until you finally see his head coming out of the wall at the back of the store. This is a massive build that really draws you into the full store. Above all the shelves, there's a bit of a timeline of New York City. It starts in the 1700s and transitions through and tells some of the key moments in the history of New York City. You can see it's all built using brick-built minifigures and brick-built designs behind it, and it transitions from the 1800s up to the 1900s until finally you get present day. Now, I don't know if this was present day in the late 90s and the early 2000s, but of course you would have a hot dog cart and balloon vendor in New York City. The pick-a-brick wall was actually pretty impressive. Now, while the top couple of rows don't have Lego brick in them, there was a massive selection of pick-a-brick in this store. Some more of the brick-built designs. You have a clock right when you walk in. You have a brick-built Gandalf? I don't remember this guy's name. I think that's Gandalf hanging out by the door on this side. This is one of the side entrances into the store, and on the other side you have a couple of brick-built Friends characters holding a cat. Look at, man, strongman Caleb holding up the Death Star with one hand. And in the back of their store, they also had a minifigure maker factory. We had hoped that there would be a LEGO Flatiron design. There were the LEGO New York exclusive stickers, but there just wasn't a Flatiron sticker. Caleb chose on this minifigure to make a New York City Yoda, and Micah picked out one of the exclusive stickers and built his own Flatiron design to print on this. Again, you can watch the printer doing its work in the back of the store. This really neat LEGO logo that was built just using an assortment of random pieces. They all come together to build this three-dimensional feel LEGO logo over the center checkout in the store. This is one of the window artwork. I wanted to give you an inside perspective because the glare on the glass kind of messes it up, but it's a massive mural of different icons in New York City. In front of it, just a couple of LEGO sets that are showcased there. Not mocks, but sets that are available to buy. But the back artwork is really impressive. As you look around, the artwork continues in front of that same brick-built Statue of Liberty that you saw in the 5th Avenue LEGO store. The windows continue. There's another massive brick-built Cataclaws. One of the differences in this store versus the other is you can actually see the store through the store display. And this is our Amazon truck for hire to take our LEGO home. Not really, but what a fun truck to see going down the street. After that, we made it to Macys to check out the Toys R Us in the 5th Avenue Macys. They also have a brick-built Statue of Liberty and some neat botanical displays. We don't get to see Toys R Us very often since they're only in Macys stores, but this one had a massive selection of LEGO available within it. You can see the different shelves throughout the store. There were also a couple of fun little hidden secrets in the store. There was a Macy's mock of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. You can see the facade with all of the floats in front and everyone lined up in front of Macy's for that iconic parade that hits the streets of New York every year. It was a really, really big build that was encased in this glass. And then the one and only Bluey. There was a massive LEGO brick-built Bluey that was in the center of all of the shelves inside of Macy's Toys R Us LEGO section. All right, guys, that 16-hour drive to check out the LEGO store in Flatiron and at Rockefeller Center, I think it was actually worth it.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. Beyond that, there was LEGO stuff all over the city, as well as like the mini blocks. We're actually in Washington DC now because after New York we went to Washington, and all over the city there's like the little mini micro blocks. So we'll let you take a look at some of those things we saw too. The micro builds were abundant in DC and New York, featuring different icons from throughout the city. Even the Supreme Court had one. It had a Ruth Bader Ginsburg brick-built mini block set. Over in the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, of course, there's a lot of space represented mini block sets. Giant Smithsonian Museum build. In New York at the 9/11 Memorial, there was a Manhattan build and an American flag build. So a lot of mini blocks. Even the Hershey store got in on the action with some brick-built candy cars. There was Reese's and Jolly Rancher and Twizzlers, and of course that Hershey one up top. So even they had to get in on the action a little bit. And not only were there the mini blocks everywhere, but a lot of the Smithsonians and different museums had LEGO sets on display too. In the Smithsonian, we found this really neat drawer in the museum that when you pull it out, there's some Speed Champions tucked away inside of the drawer. That was totally unexpected, but so neat to see the Smithsonian representing LEGO brick. There was a giant model of the Statue of Liberty down near one of the cafeterias in the National Museum of American History. Really big Statue of Liberty realistic style build. In some of the cases, you can see they had the Apollo lander, and then the one next to it. This rocket was a mock. I don't know if it was built using regular Lego brick or alt bricks, but more Lego represented. In one section, they had the patent artwork for the Lego brick and its clutch power hanging on display next to some other inventions by Gottfried Kirk Christensen. And then there were a lot of Lego sets available within the gift stores. You can see there's an X-Wing and a TIE Fighter sitting right below a real X-Wing in the Air and Space Museum. So many different displays. I was surprised by the amount of Lego that was actually available in the Smithsonian. It makes sense, but I just wasn't expecting it. There's an airplane, cargo plane build that was available in the Air and Space Museum on display in a case. And then you've got a really neat botanical one. This was in Washington, DC for the cherry blossoms, which makes sense since there is an area that those cherry blossoms come alive. And then in plush R2-D2 on display next to a brick-built R2-D2. So it was neat just seeing Lego tucked away everywhere in the city, from Macys and the Smithsonian to you name it, it was everywhere. Well, that's it. Now it's time to go back home. Lego Store Cool Springs is going to be a much nicer drive compared to the drives that we've had.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time. Go out there this Christmas season and give more,
Do more.
Share more.
And love more.
and remember to show your smile. Those smiles, they truly are contagious.
Give more, do more, share more, and love.